Clearwater is an amazing coastal city destination just on the outskirts of Tampa Bay that offers both a great place to reside full-time and also an amazing place to purchase a second home, either as a short-term getaway or a non-usage, immediately profitable investment. This video is to help you determine if it's the right Florida destination for you. Now, I'm actually going to walk you through the area. We'll explore the shopping, the entertainment, the dining, the important points of interest, and the most efficient commute routes between those actual destinations. And finally, where some of the best neighborhoods are so you can make a decision if Clearwater, Florida is actually the right destination for you. Now, let's dive into the map. I'm Thomas Towns with Living in Tampa, Florida. If you're thinking about moving to Tampa or the surrounding area, go ahead and subscribe below so that you can be the first to learn about the current market here in Tampa Bay, which includes Clearwater and the St. Petersburg area. No matter if your move is 9 days or 90 days from now, feel free to send me a text, call, or email. To simplify the process, you may even want to go ahead and set up a Zoom meeting with me or one of my amazing team members. All of my contact information is in the description below. I'll be happy to make your move everything you want it to be. What I generally like to do is I like to go high level first, talk about the area. We'll go through everything so that you're comfortable and you get the information that you need to know if you're contemplating a move to the Clearwater area. So let's start out by zooming out first so that you can see the Clearwater area that is located right here in Tampa Bay in relationship to where it is on the Florida coast. A lot of people don't know that the Tampa Bay area and Clearwater is located actually on the west coast of Florida as opposed to the east coast. The east coast gets all the publicity. You've got Miami down here, West Palm Beach. You've got the Atlantic coast side here, but we're over here on the west central coast side. So let's drill down and take a look. So as a resident of Clearwater, you're probably going to want to know a little bit about the distances in relationship to Clearwater. So if you're in the Clearwater area and you want to go to, let's say you want to travel, far away from Clearwater to a popular area like Orlando, which is typical in this market, in our area. A lot of people, they live in the Clearwater area and they like to, run around and do some of the things that make Florida such a popular destination state. So they want to head over to Orlando and take, the kids to Disney for the day or for the weekend. And that is going to look like about a 2-hour and 12-minute trip from Clearwater to Orlando, which is right here in the central portion of the state. And I'll zoom out to let you see that. And it's a pretty easy trip. The I-4 corridor is what you're going to take. That is the transportation route that is going to get you to and from anywhere in the central portion of the state between Clearwater, Tampa Bay, and the surrounding area. Most people headed east toward the central portion of the state or the Atlantic side. We'll just hop on I-4 and that's a pretty easy trip. It can be a little crowded on I-4, but it is a good route and I definitely suggest that. Now the Miami trip, taking a trip from Clearwater or Tampa Bay in general down to Miami is going to take a little bit longer. You're talking about more in the 4.5 to 5 hour range. Google Maps has it pegged at 4 hours and 42 minutes. I've done it in as little as 3 hours and 50 minutes, testing the speed limit, of course. But that is an easy trip as well. You're going to take I-75, this route, all the way down to what's called, the locals call it Alligator Alley. And that's a pretty easy trip as well. Just make sure you gas up before you get on Alligator Alley, because there's only a handful of places to get gas to go across the southern portion of the state into Miami. But that's if you're wanting to obviously get out of the Tampa Bay area, leaving Clearwater and over to other areas such as Orlando or Miami. So let's concentrate a little bit more on the local side. So here we're back at home locally. So if you are in the Clearwater Beach area or Clearwater area, which is going to be right here, and you're headed over to Tampa. So in other words, if you're thinking about hitting the malls for the day in Tampa, or you're thinking about maybe you got to get over to hop a flight or visit friends or whatever the case may be, you're looking at about a 52-minute commute. Now this is at 5 o'clock on Monday. This is a projected 5 o'clock traffic With the traffic considered, you're looking at about 52 minutes. Now that can vary. So I usually do that in about 38 minutes with normal traffic patterns, 38 to 40 minutes. And you could be closer to an hour if the traffic is really, really heavy, or if you've got some additional congestion due to, traffic accident or a special event, a sporting event or something like that going on over in the Tampa area. But anyway, you're going to just hop right here on 60, take 60 all the way across and into the Tampa area. It's a pretty easy trip. Now, the last transportation route that I'd like to show you would be your Clearwater to St. Petersburg route. Again, on a Monday at 5 o'clock, the projected time for that would be about 46 minutes. So here you've got a couple choices. You can take 19, I suggest 19, taking 19 down, cutting over to 275, the interstate, and heading into St. Petersburg from there. That's probably your easiest route. If you had to, you could take 19 and take 19 all the way down and cut over using alternate 19 and go into St. Petersburg that way, because sometimes that's a preferred route. There have been times when 275 has just been inundated with traffic, and so they call that a big parking lot sometimes. And when you're talking about commute times at 5 o'clock, sometimes you could get closer to that hour time frame. And sometimes you just want to take a less congested route, something a little bit more, a little bit less stressful. So taking this 19 US 19 route and Alt 19 sometimes can be a little easier if you're up here in the Clearwater Beach area. There is one more additional transportation route that I want to mention that is absolutely critical to moving in and out of Pinellas County. That's the county that Clearwater resides in. So if you're needing to get north of Clearwater, say you wanted to head here up into the Upper Hillsborough or Pasco County areas from Clearwater, what you will have access to is our tolled road, which is known as 589. So I'm just going to get my little red marker out here and show you exactly where that is. So if you're in Clearwater here and you go across 60, this right here is your toll road 589. And 589 is going to give you access to, sorry, my handwriting with the digital marker is terrible, but that will give you access to other areas, Tarpon Springs, Lando Lakes. It'll take you up into Wesley Chapel and give you access to the northern part of Tampa Bay. Now let's talk about some of the attractions and where those attractions are in the Clearwater area here in Tampa Bay on the map. Let's take a look. Now Clearwater has a plethora of entertainment spots, fun things to do that are, great for the family, or great for just individually just going out and doing things on your own. There's so much to do here in the Clearwater area. First, let me just explain before I do that the makeup of Clearwater, what makes it so special. So Clearwater is located again here on the western edge, and it's basically a coastal city that is on the peninsula of Florida, and it's on a peninsula itself. So I'll back out and show you that. So Florida is here, and Florida is a peninsula. You have the Atlantic side and you have the Gulf of Mexico, but then you also, here in the Clearwater area, this is Pinellas County right here. You've got the bay on this side, and you've got the Gulf of Mexico on this side. So you've got access to lots of water on both sides of you. The Gulf of Mexico here, the bay here. The bay, you've basically got a shallow basin of water here, very little wave action here. On the Gulf of Mexico side, more wave action. So you can actually do a little bodyboarding, do some very light surfing on super windy days. But let's take a look again at some of the areas, some of the attractions that you will want to note as a resident here and as a visitor here of Clearwater. So here you've got Coachman Park. It's definitely one of my favorites an area where you can go hang out. There's an amphitheater there. It is a really, really neat place to be. It's basically a park. It's a venue now where they have concerts. I'm going to show you that as well. We also have the Clearwater Marine Aquarium. That's a great spot if you're wanting to see some of the sea life here. They actually have Winter and Hope. Those guys are dolphins, and I think Winter has a prosthetic tail fin. Pretty cool. She was fitted with a prosthetic, and they filmed the movie there, Winter the Dolphin, a couple years back. Really great event center and marine aquarium. So those are definitely spots that you want to hit. Now those are actually right over the bridge here on 60 and on the Clearwater Beach area. But you basically, if you're in Clearwater, downtown Clearwater is right here. You're basically only about 5 minutes away from the Clearwater Beach area that contains, obviously the marine aquarium that I mentioned. You've got Pier 60, which is also a really great attraction out there as well. Pier 60, it's just a tremendous pier where you've got vendors and folks sell their wares out there. You can buy clothing. There's great eats out there as well. And also you can swim. So really great place to be. That's Pier 60, the park. Now let's talk about real estate here in Clearwater. So our area is very unique. You basically have 2 or 3 different types of residents here in Clearwater that make up the entire population. So you've got your full-time residents that live here year-round, and you also have your part-time residents. And in addition to that, you've got people that are here seasonally, that are here on contract for jobs. They're here for long-term Airbnb stays. So let me show you kind of where those people are going to be living, so you can get a better idea of where maybe you want to live here in Clearwater. And obviously I can help you find that. So if you are looking at the Clearwater area, the beaches here, this area of the beaches is basically going to be where most of your vacationers, your spring breakers, your part-time residents, they're gonna really be sort of in this area right here, very close to the water. Those areas, you're gonna have heavy concentrations of your condominiums, your villas, your temporary kinds of properties, okay, that foster temporary stays. In the interior is where you're gonna have most of your residents that reside here year-round. So that's probably going to be in your area right here in relationship to the Clearwater area. Okay, so those are where most of your communities are going to be with your standard subdivisions, and therefore that's where your long-term residents are going to reside. So if you're looking for a community, you're looking to live here full-time, that's more than likely where you're going to be, unless you're looking for a specific niche kind of property. Like if you're looking for something on the water, something of that nature, then you'll absolutely end up closer to the water or on it. But there are certain areas where you can expect certain demographics to reside based on whether they're here full-time or whether they're here part-time. Now let's switch to satellite view. Let's get a really quick overview of the city from a satellite perspective, so you guys can see kind of the inner workings and what to expect in terms of the types of properties. So here, this is the downtown Clearwater area. So as I mentioned before, you've got the beaches of Clearwater here, and I'll just zoom in there. You can actually see the sand, and then you've got those are all high rises, okay, on South Gulfview Boulevard. So you can even see the little beach chairs. So you can tell the way this is laid out. You've got beach here, you've got condominiums here on both sides, and then back here on these little finger islands here, you've got communities. These are single family homes. So this is a really good example of what I was just talking about with how Clearwater is laid out in terms of where people live. So you've got here is where, obviously Your vacationers are here, and they're concentrated here in these condominiums. But back here is where a lot of your part-time and full-time residents live. So this is a really good example of how Clearwater is a reflection. The way that it's laid out is a reflection of the different kinds of residents that live here. So then when I zoom back out, I'm going to go back over here to the mainland of Clearwater, and I'm just going to drop in here and show you this. So you've got this is a really big attraction, Coachman Park, and you've got a marina right here. This is absolutely beautiful. This area is great. The amphitheater is right here. You see the dome, concerts there on weekends and sometimes on Fridays as well. And then your county seat is right here. So you've got all your government buildings and all your restaurants are located in this area. And then as you come over east, you've got more residences here. And as I zoom out, then the red area is the entire Clearwater Beach area. Now let's switch over to Neighborhood Scout. I like to use this website for a number of things. Gauging the safety of a community is one. I usually recommend this to my clients. It's a really easy website that you can use. What it does is it shades everything based on color or based on color density, showing the safety of an area. So the darker shaded areas are going to be your areas that have the highest concentration of crime, and then your lightest areas, obviously the least. So this area up here, your Clearwater, Clubhouse Estates, Oak Forest, Countryside area is going to be an area that has the least amount of crime. Now, a lot of these areas here also represented Clearwater Beach. You've got these areas here, both on the north end and on the south end, that have almost no crime reports. These areas that I'm pointing out to you they're almost 100% residential. There are very few businesses. There's very little traffic in those areas. So I think that's one of the reasons why you have higher and lower density crime showing up here the way that it is basically because you've got most of your businesses located in these dark shaded areas as well. So probably like more your minor crimes are going to occur there. So the top 5 rating here, you've got the Sand Key area, which is here over on the beaches. You've got Island Estates, again, that's behind the beach area that I showed you before. And you've got Shady Farms Oaks, which is here in the northern portion of Clearwater. And those are going to be your top 3 safest Clearwater areas, Clearwater neighborhoods. Next, let's take a look at the highest appreciating areas and neighborhoods in the Clearwater area. So again, using our Neighborhood Scout map, the darkest shaded areas are showing the highest areas of highest appreciation, and the light colored areas showing the lowest. So as you can see, and I'm sure you could predict this as well, most of your beach areas on the water are going to have your highest value. And then basically here, you can see the migration of appreciation southward in the area. Most of your developments here in the Clearwater area are already established. There's not a lot of new communities. So a lot of the older sections of Clearwater, which is down in here, they're being revitalized, and homes are being built in place of older homes. So they'll knock down an older home, put a newer home there. And so you're getting this, you can see these areas are shaded here on the eastern side of Clearwater, and then on the southern end, and as well as the beaches. So, and then your top 3 areas, Nursery, which is in that the southern portion. You've got Island Estates, which is on the beach side, and then you've got Jeffers and that Jeffers Street and that Betty Lane area, followed by Clearwater Beach at 4 and Turner at 5. So all of these are really great areas. I think there's appreciation in different spots all over Clearwater, but those are definitely the ones that stand out the most. So let's take a second to talk about the school systems and the schools here in the Clearwater area. Now, obviously, not every school is going to be rated 10 out of 10. You're going to get some 6s and 7s in there. I have a client that I was talking to the other day, and her son actually graduated from Clearwater High School, which is right here. And she said her son had an amazing 4-year experience there, and he's off to college next year. So we're all super proud of him. But you've got a ton of different options here in the Clearwater area if you're not in an area that has that 10 out of 10 rated school. There are ways that you can make up that shortfall. So we have religious-based schools here, like Clearwater Central Catholic High School. We also have charter schools, and there are private schools as well that you can pay a semester tuition to, such as Tampa Jesuit. Amazing schools. There are tons of choices here. So if your school in your neighborhood or near the neighborhood that you ultimately choose does not have that 10 out of 10 rating that you're looking for, you do have some great options. So let's first head over to a listing right off the beach. It's actually just about 5 minutes from the beach. And I'm gonna pop into this property and show you what something like this looks like. So this is a new development. It's called Marina Bay. And this particular unit is listed at $699,000. So let's take a look. This is a 2-bedroom, 2-bath, 1655 square foot unit. So you can get a good look at that. So this property has a marina in front of it, so you can store your boat. Those are deeded docks, by the way. This bridge here goes over to Clearwater Beach, which is right here, and the mainland is here. So you're still on the mainland. Really great development. There's a pool here as well. So they also have some amenities, space for amenities, billiard tables. There's a putting course there. That's the rooftop observation area, recreation area. There's the pool. So just a really, really great development. There's a fitness room. This is pretty typical for a lot of the condominium developments that are there on the beach. This is common area. So if you were having a party and you had guests that were too big for your unit, you could actually rent out the space and bring the group down to the area, the common area, and enjoy that. There's common area downstairs, first floor by the pool. It's a piano bar there. And then this is the view off of the back of the unit, the balcony area. And now we're getting into the unit itself. Bathroom, master bath, master bedroom space. There's your view, and I think that view is from the master bedroom, primary bedroom. You've got a washer dryer here. Balcony space again. More balcony space. There's your living room. Here's your kitchen. More of your kitchen. You've got your stainless steel appliances, your full length 42 to 46 inch cabinetry. You've got an island and you've got pendant lighting over the island. Really, really great space. So something like this, if you're here part-time or if you're here as a full-time resident, that would definitely work. So let's take a look at something that's a little different that may give you a little bit more space to work with if a condominium really isn't for you. So let's take a look at a townhome. Now, this particular townhome is actually, this is in Clearwater. This is called Towns at Bel Air Grove. These townhomes are maintenance-free properties for the most part. You can still use them as a part-time residence. You will have to have maybe someone come and do your lawn, but they're not quite as maintenance dependent as a traditional single-family home. So let's take a look. So you've got a double garage here. This is 2-story. That's your little back area. So you do have a tiny backyard that you can use. There's the aerial view. So you have a corner unit there. Looks like there's about 6 units per building. That's the aerial. You can see the development. You can see its proximity to the bay. I'm just going to flip through these. We'll get to the interior. There's your floor plan there. They do have a community pool. So you've got a washer dryer, much bigger washer dryer than in a condominium unit. And your bath here. You've got a little bit more space to work with the bedrooms. Someone loves guitars. So you've just got more to deal with in terms of square footage. So if you're wanting something that's not going to be as crowded here, it looks like you've got, an office or room that can be utilized as an office in addition to your bedroom space, and your living room space is much, much bigger, integrated into your living room space, kitchen space, integrated into your living room space. And then you have obviously an outdoor area of your own. So on ground level. So you've got outdoor space, you've got a lanai here. So these are quite common here in the Florida area, especially in the Clearwater area. That will allow you to enjoy your outdoor space without getting eaten alive by mosquitoes. And those guys are full-time residents. They're here year-round. So again, just more space, more to work with. So this last home is going to be a traditional single family home, meaning with a townhome, you have an attached wall. You share a wall with a neighbor. This particular property, this is a traditional single family home. So all 4 walls are independent. It's all yours. So let's take a quick look at it. And this is a 4-bedroom, 3-bath, 2570 square foot. This is listed at $800. So the first home condominium we looked at was in the 600s. This is in about the 800 range. That's typically the range for residential properties here in the Tampa Bay area. You can find a little bit cheaper if you're looking for a smaller condominium or a smaller home, but this is pretty typical. So here, let's take a quick look. This is pretty close to the Rockaway Grill. Frenchies. This is going over to the Clearwater Beach area. This is the bridge. It goes over to Clearwater Beach from the mainland. Just showing you the beaches here. Again, Pier 60. I covered that one of the main attractions. And here is the neighborhood. So again, traditional single family homes, you can see, even though they're very close together, each home is independent of its neighbor. The typical street here in Florida, palm trees. This is Palmcrest, the neighborhood. This is a gated neighborhood, so you enter from the right, exit from the left. You put in a code here in this code box, and this will allow you to access your neighborhood. Again, there's the bay behind it. Backyard area, small, but adequate. Gives you room to let the dog out, let the kids play. Very large overhang area, so you can barbecue under here and stay out of the rain and the elements. Master bath. Closet space. Your bedrooms here. And when you're looking at these homes, again, every property that we've looked at, it's gotten progressively larger in terms of square footage. So this one is almost 2,500 square feet. This is going to give you so much more room to work with. And if you have a large family or a burgeoning family, then obviously you're going to need that space as opposed to someone who's looking for a condominium. So let's shoot over to, I think there's the outdoor, those are the sliding glass doors going out to the backyard area. There's the living room. There's the kitchen in the back. Let's get to that kitchen. There's a closer up view of the kitchen. Looks like you've got quartz countertops here. There's a little side office area, what's being used as a side office. more views of the kitchen. So this is pretty typical for a home like this in the Clearwater area. So hopefully this has given you a really deep overview of Clearwater, what it has to offer, a little bit about the homes, a little bit about the schools, the available entertainment in the area. And this area is definitely one that you should consider if you're looking to be in an area that has lots to offer in terms of events and water sports and great schools. And I'd love to show you around. So hopefully I'll see you around the area. If you have any questions, feel free to drop a comment in the comment box below. Like, share, and subscribe. I hope you got a ton of value out of this video. And now I hope you have a better idea of what Clearwater is all about and if it's the right place for you. Now, you might have some questions for me. Go ahead and drop those questions in the comment box below. Please like, share, and subscribe to stay up to date on all the home market information here in the Clearwater and greater Tampa Bay area. Now, I get emails, texts, phone calls, and Zoom meeting requests from people just like you looking to make a move to the Tampa Bay area. Now, if that's you, go ahead and check in the description box below. All my contact information is there. Now, whether you're planning on making a move in 9 days or 90 days across the country, the state, or maybe just across town, my team is here to make your move everything you want it to be.